From Los Angeles, the big LA, welcome to all my listeners out there in Radio Land. I am Dave, the Caregiver's Caregiver, coming to you live globally through the famous Health Star Worldwide Radio Network. Yes, folks, I'm the guy who's going to help you and guide you along this very difficult path called caregiving. And guess what? Caregiving is a very, very difficult job. For those of you who are caregivers, you already know that. But we're going to do our very best to help you avoid that dreaded thing called caregiver burnout. Now, that's where we get into dangerous territory. Now, we have an exciting show planned for you today with my lovely co-host, Adrienne Gruberg, who is just a little late, but she'll be here. Our guest, Jo Muir, will be discussing how to find your inner strength through love and light while caring for others. So stay tuned. You do not want to miss this show. And if you're new to the show, and we get many new listeners every week, especially from this Blab television network that we are on, simulcasting, I am your host, Dave Nassaney, and this show is to caregivers of every kind. And the one thing we know about caregivers is that they are caring, and they're selfless, and they're sacrificial, all those wonderful things. Oh, yeah, and they've got this bad habit. They're very prone to burnout because they tend to put everyone else's needs above their own. Folks, come on, learn a lesson from the airlines. Remember, every time you hop on a plane, they always tell you something like, in the event of an emergency, put your oxygen mask on first before you help your loved one with their mask. Because they know that from experience, if you don't, put your needs above your loved one's needs, that you will mostly black out. And then guess what? You won't be of any good to anybody with anything. And caregivers are exactly the same way. Now, we also talk about grief and loss here and the devastating effects that it can have on us. It automatically throws us into this other thing called the grief process. Ouch. Unfortunately, folks, there's only one way out of the grief process, and that's to go through the grief process. You can't go around it. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. Got to go through it. Sorry. And hopefully we can help you through your grief and your loss if you happen to feel like you're stuck. Hey, I want to thank last week's guests, Adrienne and Blade. You can hear that interview podcast on my website, caregiverscaregiver.com. Oh, and while you're there, take our short quiz to see if you're a candidate for burnout. And just for doing that, I'm going to send you my very first book, absolutely free. What a deal. I think that's a great deal. All right, enough of that. Jo, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for agreeing to come on. You seem like a happy Brit.
I am. Thanks, Dave. Thanks very much for the invite, and it's a real privilege and pleasure to be with you and your lovely crew out there. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and the thrill is ours, and we just love hearing your official English accent, because I guess that's what America used to sound like a few hundred years ago before we polluted our language.
Yeah, with a bit of Australian and New Zealand twangs thrown in there, because that's where I've lived for the last 15 years. So, yes.
Well, I just want to tell you again how much we appreciate you coming on the show. I also just want to set this up a little. Our caregiving audience often allow themselves, for whatever reason, to get burned out, and because they just don't take the time, for whatever reason, to put their needs above their loved ones. Like I explained about the airlines. Now, you have a very unusual, and maybe some would even describe as an unorthodox method of dealing with this burnout, that many caregivers may not have considered. And of course, being the caregiver's caregiver, I always look for new and innovative ways that our caregivers can try to take care of themselves and just convince them that they are more important than the person they're caring for. I know that sounds like a very selfish thing to say, and it just goes against a lot of their grains. They're just hardwired to just give and give and give and give until there's nothing left to give, and then they're sicker than the person they're caring for. So obviously my first question would be, take a minute or two and tell us how you would help people find their own inner support, as you call it.
Okay. I'm Jo Muir, the soul visionary, and I love helping people find their inner strength, find their own love and light from within, And I see that your soul is like your gift from God. It's your individuation, your God spark within you. And I'm here to help people understand that all the resources that they need are out there for connecting in, so you can feel that love and light to support yourself. I absolutely agree with you, Dave, about putting your own oxygen mask on first. Highly important. And, I'm here about helping people to just find, look, I regard that there's God's backyard is like our night sky out there. And I see that there's all these beautiful resources that we can imagine, if we like, that can feed us and fuel us, because we've got to sort of feel connected to everything. And it doesn't mean that we need to be connected to everyone, as in taking on everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
When we learn about our own energetic boundaries, to put those in place, we can contain ourselves as the love and light that we are, and inspire others and help others to find within themselves without having to give all of ourselves to them. So that's what I mean about finding that inner strength, finding that inner support, the love and the light, and the energy within to fuel yourself.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Well, maybe. You talked about qualities of spirit. That's a strange use of words. Would you kind of explain what that is?
Yes, sure. So when I look at, when I help people understand their soul, in terms of, we all have soul strengths. What gifts have we come into this life? What gifts has God given to us to help us experience life? Life, God wants us to live this life of joy, abundance, connection, freedom. And, I'm here to show people that when we tap into our own inner strength, our qualities of spirit, as I call them, then we are fulfilling what God wants for us, what we are here to do, what we are. And so, I see that many caregivers have these qualities of spirit of love and light. Okay, and caring for others, and so they're the areas that I want to focus on today, because I'd love to speak to the hearts of your caregivers when we're talking today, and helping them bring forward their own qualities of spirit of love and light, and helping them replenish themselves from within.
Yes, and obviously we all know what love is, but we don't often hear the term light. So can you kind of explain what is light and how is it different from love?
Great question. How's love different? Okay. So I see that if we were completely able to follow in Jesus's footsteps of living through divine love, we would be coming from that energy of love is all there is. Okay. And life would be a very different viewpoint. And we're human, and we've had this conditioning and experience that we're sort of separate from this love. So we have these tendencies to keep creating scenarios that keep us separate, that show us love's outside ourselves, rather than having the love from within ourselves and feeling that from within ourselves. We think, well, when we give love to others and we care for love for others, and with this caregiving for these people, well, then that will make me feel fulfilled. Whereas if we can find the love, connect into the love for ourselves, then we've got more love to give to others. And regarding the light, I see that when we can connect into the light, again, God, let there be light. It's throughout the Bible, it's throughout the references. That thing of darkness cannot exist where love doesn't shine. Right. And in John, the light shines in the darkness, and darkness has not overcome it. So how can we find our own resources for light within us? And from that is not allowing other people's energies to put our own light out. And that's what I see is one of the hardest parts for caregivers, is to understand that it's in your own self-best interest. Put your oxygen mask on first by putting your energetic boundaries in place that support you with the love and light you are, so that you are not affected by others. And I say, well, think about a lighthouse, and a lighthouse has got a beautiful light at the top of it, beautiful firm base, and you're being that support for yourself and for others. And a lighthouse has glass panels around the flame. which stops all the stormwater coming in. It stops all the gale force winds and the rain washing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And also those glass panels allow the light to shine even brighter, inspire, for the ships, for the ships to see it further. And I believe that when we're carrying forward these qualities of spirit from our soul level, is that we forget to put the panels in. We think it's better if we give all of ourselves to others. That's when we're in service, the best. And I suggest to people, if they can understand, let's put those glass panels, your energetic boundaries around you, that stop you being drained by others, stop the exhaustion and the burden and the responsibility that you feel that you have to carry for others. Because I'm here to tell you, it's one of the biggest myths of human society that it is only your job to shine your light as brightly as you possibly can and to inspire others to turn their own light on. It is not your job to turn their lights on for them. And so many people, that, especially caregivers, that come from that I want to give, I want to show people the possibility, I want to care through my love and light. Well, let's put those energetic boundaries around so you can be complete within yourself in that love and light and not be drained by others. So that's my different take on that, of what I see as light, shining it brightly from within.
Now, everybody seems to give and receive love differently. Why is that? And what can you say about that?
I think that I believe that humans come in for a different experience in life. We're not all choosing the same path. And goodness, how would the world exist if we did all choose the same path? So some of us have chosen or feel that they've been put into the scenario of being a caregiver. And it may be going with what you instinctively want to do with your life, or it may be something that you never thought that you would end up doing. It's circumstantial that you have. Mm-hmm. So it's finding, as I say, I just keep bringing it back to when you know how to connect into love and light from within, to give yourself the support, then it doesn't matter whether you chose it or you've sort of been thrown into the role. You know how to support yourself first and foremost so that you can be the best caregiver that you can for others, and not take on and not keep giving the more of yourself to others thinking, well, this is what God wants for me, because he so doesn't. God so doesn't want you to burn out. There is nobody more important or less important than you on this planet. No one. Everybody is here as a child of God and in service to others. And your only responsibility at the end of the day, and this may be a harsh truth with some, is to look after yourself. Because you're no good if you cannot fuel yourself from the inside. And often we're not shown where these resources are. And so I'm here to to give that openness and perhaps this new seed of possibility that you can plug more easily into God's love and support, not just through prayer and not just through, asking, but bringing it into your feeling body, bringing it into your feelingness, into your own, beyond your emotions, into your heart and into your abdomen, into your being, so you feel the support. And so when you can feel it, when you can feel this love from within, it's that knowingness of God is within you, that knowingness that God has that support within you, and you can be the love that you're designed to be. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And caregivers are a very special breed of person. Now I'm hearing an echo of myself. And they just keep going and going and going, kind of like the ever-ready battery bunny, Yes. And I was just asking a question. I sent a newsletter out to everyone, and I said, I speak to a lot of caregivers, and just when you think you've heard the worst story, then somebody is always out there to top it. And the good part about that is it kind of makes the people who thought that they had it bad realize that, okay, well, maybe I don't have it so bad, because this guy's story is 10 times worse than my story. And And so you feel a little comfort in the fact that I guess I'm doing pretty good, but also, it's mixed emotions. You feel bad for them, empathy, sympathy, that their story has gripped your soul. But my question to all these people was that, what is inside of these caregivers? Because they're strange, unusual people, because they put up with just horrific circumstances, cleaning up poop on the floor and vomit and changing diapers and doing it with no appreciation. And many times Alzheimer's patients, they don't even know who they are. It's their loved one. They don't appreciate what they're doing. They don't appreciate the sacrifice they've made. They had to give up their job. They had to give up their home. Many times their family, is suffering. Spouses have left them because they choose to take care of their parent or whatever. And I said, what keeps these people continuing to do this day after day, week after week, year after year, sometimes even decade after decade? And I'm having people just, write me and saying, what is motivating you? And it sounds like many of them are tuning into this inner strength. Many of them probably don't even realize there is an inner strength, or that they're tuning in, or how to do it. Maybe they're just unconsciously doing it. But I think it would be better to know where the strength is and how to tune into it, so that you can do it not only when you're in crisis mode. When my phone battery goes dead, it starts blinking, and then I'm in crisis mode. I've got to finish what I'm doing because this thing is going out in 30 seconds, as opposed to just going when it's 20% down and making the preparations of rejuvenating or recharging, so that you're not always in crisis mode, putting out fire.
Oh, look, I couldn't agree with you more, Dave. For me, when I feel connected to the love and light, it's not something I can be aware of when I'm in crisis. It is something that I live and breathe, because I know with every fiber of my being the difference it makes for my life, my quality of life, how I see life, how I experience it when I'm connected into this love and light. It's like going to the gym once and leaving and going, well, I've been to the gym, why aren't I fit? It's like, it doesn't work like that.
I wish it did.
It's a case of, you've got to build your spiritual muscles. We're taught about, praying. Don't just pray to God when you need something. Give him the thanks and the gratitude every day for your life, everything that you have, all the parts of it. And we cannot be in the lower energies of resentment, guilt, shame, frustration, anger when you are feeling gratitude. It is impossible. It's one of the laws. You cannot have those energies running when you're in gratitude. So it's one of the tools that I suggest to people. And I'll talk about this a bit later, about tools we can use on a daily basis to be in this place of connection and being conscious of it. So, look, I think this is a perfect, lead into what I'm going to talk in the next section of the show about, giving you those tools that can sustain you and just keep you. We don't want you going down to flashing light, there's 5% left. We want you to know where that plug is. And that's what I'm about. I describe it as, I'm going to show you where, when I do my work, I help people understand where the petrol station is in the sky, that you can connect in that nozzle directly into your heart, so you can feel that fulfillment of love at any time, or light that you need, or strength that you need, or whatever it is you need. I help people find those petrol stations, if you like, so you've got that direct roadmap to that space. And that's why I want to give an experience of in the next section, so you can feel it.
Yes, we're coming up on a break now. So tell us briefly what you're going to do in the next session when we come back from our break. That will we're actually going to do an exercise or something, right?
Yeah, look, what I'd love to do is actually take you through maybe just a 10-minute process. I'm going to talk you through it. There's no right or wrong. There's no, or what am I meant to be doing? I would love for you and your audience to just take 10 minutes out and give the blessings of this time to yourself. Give the gift of connection to yourself for 10 minutes. And I'm just going to guide you through it. And I'd love for you to start literally physically feeling a sense of peace and serenity and connection within your heart and within your body, and then giving you the tools to help you anchor that in. So it's almost like, where your phone plug is at all time, but where your heart plug is at all times. So that's what I'd like to give you.
We're going to do some relaxation techniques, some meditation techniques to just try to reconnect with us. And draw upon this energy that's inside of us, that obviously God has placed inside of us. And it's like the old saying, I don't know if they have it in England, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
You cannot make it drink.
And that's kind of how I feel with caregivers. You know, I'm constantly telling them, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And very few of them actually do it.
And that, if you imagine that pond, that's your resources. That's your resources for all your love, light, and support that you need is within that pool of water if you choose to drink it. And one of the biggest things for people that come of light is they do not understand what other people choose the path of darkness in this lifetime. And it's for you to understand it is not your responsibility to make them do that. And that is the same for caregivers. If they're not prepared to find the inner strength and support within themselves, that's their choice in this life. And it's a hard one because you want to give yourself to them. But if they're not willing to drink the water, then, you know, it's what they're choosing.
As long as we're not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is a pre-taped show, just explaining to our live audience, because you're in Australia and you would have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and do the show otherwise. So during our break, the live audience, really, we're not taking a break, but it's for our engineer who comes back later, and we'll put in the commercials. So we'll be right back, so don't go away. Okay, welcome back, and we're here with Jo Muir, and she's going to teach us some techniques on how we can recharge our batteries while we still have maybe 20% before we burn out, and we're not just flashing, 1%, danger, Will Robinson. So go ahead, tell us what we should do. And our next break will be in 20 minutes, just so you know.
Okay, beautiful. So look, what I would love to do is take you through a little bit of a process and give you the gift of yourself back to you, helping you to connect in, as Dave referred to before the break. We're here to lead you to the water. I'm going to show you what's in the water. I'm going to help you take the drink for the water, and it's your choice whether you want to try it, drink it, or not, and that's your choice. So look, what I would love for people to do is get into a really comfortable position and shut their eyes and gently connect into your breath and take a beautiful breath into your heart space. Just come to the here and now and give lots of love, act, and gratitude to yourself and to your connection to God and all that is, for being here and giving yourself this time out to refuel yourself today. And on your next breath in, I want you to see that breath go upwards in your body. And it goes like half of the figure eight, like half of the infinity symbol. It goes one way and it crosses through your throat. And your breath goes up through your head, out through the top of your head, your crown chakra. And it goes up and up and up. And it wraps around what I call your great central sun, your connection to God, to all that is, to everything that you believe and know is true for you. And a source of love and light that you know is here to support you. That faith that you have, connect into the faith that you have, and with your breath, bring that back down that energy of your faith and your love and your light, whatever you choose to call it, back in through your crown chakra, again, crossing the other side of the figure eight, down through your head, through your throat, down through your body, through your heart, through your abdomen, torso, down through your root, down through your legs, and out through your feet. The breath is still working its way downward, and I want you to see that breath go down deep into the earth below. And it's wrapping round the great core crystal at the center of the earth. For this is where I feel that the blueprint is held, and the blueprint reminds us of how life is supposed to be lived. Of joy, energy, connection, abundance, freedom, and love. And I want with your breath to bring some of that energy back up from the core crystal with you, knowing it is your birthright to receive and experience life through all aspects, through your six senses, back up through your feet, through your legs, up through your base, through your torso. And I want you to see that breath and the love and light connect back into your heart space and radiate outwards, round from your heart space, So it's filling all the space in and around you, above you, below you, behind you, all around you. So you're feeling this beautiful big ball, love and light. Can you have a sense of that, Dave, right now, that you're just feeling quite in a beautiful space of peace and serenity?
Yes, I feel very relaxed. I feel like I'm kind of one with the earth.
Yay, beautiful.
It's wow, it's nice.
Okay, so just keep expanding and allowing, and this is especially for the caregivers, give yourself permission today to receive. It is your birthright. It is God's wish for you to receive. It is not always about giving. Allow yourself to receive the love and light that you are. And I want you to feel that you're in this beautiful, just like a bubble of light and love right now. And that you feel very safe and secure in this space. And that you have a real sense of peace in this space and connection to all that is. So I want you to imagine a night sky above you. And this is what I call God's backyard, if you like. And within this space is everything that you could possibly need, all the resources and all the support that you could possibly need. And I'm going to call in some of the energy from a place that I call Hadar. And if you think about it as your pond, your water bowl of love, and I want you to start feeling that love come in through your crown chakra, through the top of your head, and start coming in through your bodies, through all aspects of you, and into this space. And for you to allow yourself to being open to receiving the serenity and comfort and blissfulness of unconditional love that you may not have experienced for a very, very long time. I'm just going to ask if any energies within and around your bodies that are stopping you connecting in from that love, anything that might be in the way for you connecting into the divine love that you are, to be cleared and lifted and shown God's love today so that you can more fully experience the love that is your birthright, that it is safe and good for you, and it is in the highest good of all for you to receive this love yourself and be connected to this resource of love, knowing that it never needs to be taken away from you. There is no scarcity. It is in full abundance, and this flow of love can come in and around you at any time and into your heart space, and filling yourself up with this love and expansive love. And you may even feel a little bit of tingling in your body, a little bit of awareness within your physical space of, wow, yes, I'm open to receiving it, allowing this energy of love to flow in and around you. And even if it's in your creative imagination, even if you don't feel it in your body, that's all okay. Imagine that God is pouring all his love for you. It's coming from all these resources, seen and unseen, that you may not even know about, that you're allowing that in today. And whilst we're allowing this energy of the love to continue to pour in, I also going to call in some light. The light, I call this from a space called Mintaka. And again, don't be hung up on a name, it is simply a name. Call it God's light. Let there be light. And I want you to allow that light to again start coming in through your bodies, through all aspects. You're filling up this beautiful zone that you're in, into this space. And I'd like for that light and for you to give yourself permission to receive this light. And allowing this light to clear out any parts of your energetic patternings that you've been carrying for very, very many years, across many, many spaces and times, to clear out any of that darkness that is keeping you separate from light, and allowing that light to just help dissolve and transmute any energies that is stopping you getting into this feeling of lightness, in all senses of it, in terms of weightlessness, in terms of feeling light, in terms of feeling buoyant and energized. And I want you to have that sense again in your creative imagination, even if you can't feel it in your body, that you can bring in that sense of lightness in and around you. So I want you to have the sense that you are right now absolutely, it's just pouring into all aspects of you, from all these resources, all the love and light that you are entitled to. It is your birthright. Be open to be receiving this in your beautiful space. Now I want you to imagine that you're in this beautiful bubble. And I want you to imagine again in your creative imagination, a beautiful big glass bubble surrounding the space you're in. So you feel like you're in this ball that's sort of 10 foot wide and tall all the way around you. And this glass bubble allows all the love and light that you would like to come into the space. It's like a magnet for love and light. And it allows you to feel fully supported and safe and secure in this beautiful zone of love and light that you're in. And for you to know that whilst you're connected into the space, and any time you wish to be connected back into the space, you can feel this love and light that you're experiencing right now. And what I want for you to feel and know with your heart and soul is that this glass bubble also, any darker energies, anything that people are throwing at you and trying to bring you down, or anything that you are struggling with, any of those lower energy thoughts that come into your mind, of how to keep going, I want you to see that they're like rain falling off a window pane on this outside of this glass bubble. It just can just wash off you like those panels in the lighthouse we talked about. This is your energy, this is your energetic boundaries, this is your protection. You can feel safe and secure that none of that dark energy can come in and affect you, and just feel complete and whole with that. So whilst you're in this beautiful space of love, light, and connection, I want you to be asked, or again, in your imagination, think of or be asked to be shown a symbol. It could be a color, an animal, a crystal. It doesn't matter what it is. The first thing that pops into your mind. And when you have that, I want you to bring it into your heart space. Imagine that little thing that you've just been shown into your heart space. And I'd like for you to anchor into that little symbol all that you're feeling right now, all that sense of serenity and peace and connection to all that is and all God's love and light that you know is there to support you, that you are open to receive, and to have that knowingness within you that this is the space of bliss. For there is nothing more important than how you feel. And if you know that you can bring yourself back to this feeling of connection, love, joy, abundance, and freedom that you're experiencing right now, then this moment and this feeling can wash away anything that you have going on in your life. So with that symbol, I want you to bring that down into your tummy, into your abdomen, for this is where we create our lives. And I want you to just briefly imagine your life from this space of connection to the love and light that you are. And having a sense of how life could be, and how life would be if you could feel the supported and loved and held and respected and acknowledged for the gifts of your soul that you are. For this is your gifts of your soul, this love and light. You have been reconnected with your goals, gifts of your soul today. And knowing that they need never be taken away from you unless you choose it, that these are for you to be reconnected into today, and just operating from that space of connection within your life. So as we're in this beautiful space of connection, we just give a moment of lots of love, thanks and gratitude to all the divine support team that were working with you, God, and his angels and archangels that are with you, and your own guides that are with you, helping you on a daily basis, that are there to support you as the beautiful individual being that you are, and to give yourself this blissful acknowledgement of reconnection here today. So as you bring your attention back to your breath, into your heart space, and bringing your awareness back to your physical body, take a nice deep breath into your heart space and awareness. And perhaps have a little bit of a stretch of your body, and have a move and come back to the here and now, and have a sip of water if you have it. And coming back. So Dave, how did you feel with that?
Oh, it was amazing. I felt like, God was just pouring a gas pump into my head and just filling me up, because I have a gas station, of course. And I know when your tank is empty, it's always nice to have a full gas tank.
Absolutely.
And it was, I just think it'd be wonderful if all these caregivers, because many of them, to just, it's almost like getting a massage. It's almost like getting having a Calgon moment and taking an oil bath, and
yes.
What do you think, Adrienne? Welcome, by the way.
Hi, Adrienne.
Better late than never.
Well, I was waiting for a link.
Oh, well, I told you that it's the same link.
So I tried it, and there you are. I felt my chair spinning. And it wasn't. I just opened my eyes just to check. I just sort of lifted my lids a little bit. Because you
kind of go 100 miles an hour most of the time, don't you? I don't know how often you get to just sit down and block the world out of your consciousness.
I try. I succeeded a few times a day, but the New York City pace is a little bit insane. Always. Who is that? That's Hillary on the telephone.
Hillary?
I never stopped getting phone calls asking me to support the Democratic campaign.
I see, Hillary.
Stop ringing it in.
So, did we experience the right things, Jo?
Sorry.
I'm muting you. So
how you feeling? Look, it's never about a right or wrong. I just wanted for you to have that experience within your body of just, wow, I'm just, giving yourself the time and giving it and having if you had a little sense of connection, as you said, the love from God pouring in, then yes, that was my wish, that for you and for your caregivers is just taking that time out to experience that within your body. And it's not just about, there was 10 minutes, that felt good. The symbol that you were shown, that you brought into your heart.
Yeah, I saw a little lamb, kind of like Jesus was the lamb, and it was all cuddly and
beautiful. Well,
lamb brought it into my bosom.
Yeah,
made
lamb
me
is
feel warm and fuzzy inside.
And the lamb is such a beautiful symbol of the gift from God, and it's about giving yourself the innocence. That's what lamb's about, is the innocence and the naivety and the joy. Imagine the lamb springing around. So it's giving yourself that. So for you as a caregiver, or for any other caregivers, whatever symbol it was that you were shown, I invite you to think about it as much as you can. Like when you wake up, think of that symbol in your heart and imagine your glass bubble around you. Go, I'm setting myself up for the day. I'm setting my intention of operating from the space of love and connection. I'm having my energetic boundaries in place so I can feel complete with my love and light that I've got within. And it's to say that the reference to the gym, every time you pulse your spiritual muscles, if you like, of thinking of that symbol and living it, the more you become used to it, the more it fuels you, the more you feel supported by it. Because the more you can support yourself by the feelingness of connection and that you're supported by the bigger, life becomes so much more easier. You stop being drained and exhausted. This is your own fuel. This is your divine pump fuel. This is your Caltex moment, or whatever your petrol stations are called there.
I feel recharged, in just 10 minutes. Wow.
And so now that's why I call it an activation. So we've sort of activated that connection within you. So all you need to do is think of that symbol to reactivate every moment. And by all means, go back over the 10 minutes when you have the time.
They can replay this broadcast and do it as many times as they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Or, note that just after the second break, I can go and listen to the activation and just keep bringing that symbol in. And, every time you put the kettle on, every time you use the bathroom, every time that you wash your hands, create a new habit of thinking of that symbol and just taking a breath. I'm here. And that
I can just visualize these caregivers just in the middle of chaos,
yes.
and their loved one is screaming at them, or they just, pooped in their diaper again, and they just kind of lock themselves in the bathroom for 5 minutes.
Yes.
And just get a fix.
Absolutely, get your fix.
Just enough time to take a few deep breaths. There's
breaths are great.
I don't have the time.
Yeah.
There's always time for just
three deep breaths with awareness of that symbol in your heart will connect you to all that is and all support that you are longing for, because you only ever feel drained, overwhelmed, exhausted, frustration when you have a sense of separation. It's the only time it can happen, when you're separate from the resources to fuel yourself. So give yourself that gift of knowing where that petrol station is and give yourself a fill up. Your car does not run on an empty tank. You would not get cross with your own car if it didn't get itself out the garage because you haven't filled it up for some months, right? You know that. Yeah. So why are we any different? Fill yourself up from the inside.
Yeah. Feel it. I was telling her, Adrienne, that, so oftentimes we feel like, you can drag a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, and this is probably the first show that we actually have dragged them to the water hole and maybe stuck their head in it. Really being aggressive, because what else can we try, because they're not listening.
So I just imagine it's like a rainfall, just and saturating, and just feel it. And that's what I want you to have, that sense of saturation, of fullness and peace. And as you say, because I don't have the time, you manage to breathe every day. You've got time to breathe, you've got time to deal with your bodily functions. We're human. Incorporate it. If you're in the shower in the morning, take 3 minutes to breathe and connect in, or while you're making the dinners, whatever it is that you do.
And the more that you do it, the more attuned you are to that feeling that you had, it just comes so quickly.
Totally. And that's the thing. And it's like, let's give your mind a break from the internal chatter that you must be totally bored with hearing over and over again. Let's get out of some of that and into your heart space so you can actually give your mind some time off. So when you're preparing the dinner or changing the beds or whatever it is, please don't give me the excuse of no time, because if you have the time to think while you're practically doing things, then you have the time to bring your awareness into your heart space and connect in to something that will truly fuel you from the inside.
We need to take another break, absolutely. So please don't go away. And you live people, we're not really taking a break, but Engineer Blade has to put a commercial in there, so don't go away. Well, we're back. So welcome back, Jo, Adrienne, welcome.
Thank you.
Wow, that was powerful. I feel amazing, and I'm almost tempted to play it again. Play it again, Sam.
Yes, and again, you'll get more out of it each time that you listen to it, because every time you listen to it, you're lifting yourself up. It's that energy vibration. How do you feel? And as I said, there's nothing more important than how you feel. Nothing. Period. And if you can find the tools, which is what I'd love to share with you, maybe is some tools to help.
Yeah, what tools? Yeah. Tell us about the tools. We have about 8 minutes or so.
Okay, great. Thank you. Look, as I say, it's all very well going, well, that 10 minutes was nice, but now I'm going back to my life. And as we talked just before the break, the tools can be as simple as bringing in that symbol into your heart space that we've just talked about, and into your abdomen using your breath. So just to reiterate those tools, because it requires no more time. It requires you not trying to find an extra hour in your day to do something. This is the sort of thing you can incorporate into your daily practice and habit. So it really is about, doing that. And it's to also help you is like, I totally encourage people to find other things that fuel your soul. Okay. So we've talked about bringing in the love and light and connection, but also, if you have things, if you do manage as a very busy caregiver, if there's things that you do that you love for yourself, I absolutely encourage that, to find those things where you can bring your passion and love. And I'd love for you to get into the space of connection before you do the thing that you love, because you'll feel even better. You'll be bringing that vibration, that energy through of love into all that you do. So those kind of tools are really useful. Bringing in creativity and exercise. And again, I know people that go, I haven't got the time. Well, use your creative minds where you feel like a little bit lifted with the energy. How can I be creative to incorporate a little bit of movement and exercise beyond just doing the practical givingness of caregiving? Bring a little bit of fun, a little bit of joy, a little bit of how can I do things a bit differently to make myself feel better on a daily basis. So again, it's not about finding new time. I'm not saying, right, got to find time to go to the gym. It's not about that. You're so busy people. How can you immerse in some joy physically with what you physically got to do around the home and within the duties that you have, and shaking up your energy? You know, we've got to get out of that, some of the lower energies that we've just been carrying from this exhaustion and draining, and start lifting ourselves up. And the biggest tool we can use is being observant of our mind, of our thoughts, what comes into our thoughts, what's coming in. And if we're hearing the same old mind chatter, if you can stop for just a minute and go, well, does that really help me right now? What would help me better? Do I want to feel better right now? Or do I want to listen to this stuff? And even if in that split second of observance, we can, all right, well, let me find, I've given you some tools now to connect into that love and light. So use it to bring that forward, and to experience it. You know, another thing that tools is listen. There's so much great quality audio out there that all you need is stick it on. You know, if you've got a phone and some earphones, listen to things. You can have it even on low volume if you still need to be aware of what's going on around you, so you're not being a distraction. You know, it's not taking away from your duties, for want of a better word, but things that can inspire you whilst you're giving your work. Something can lift you. Something can make you feel better. And there's so much free resources out there. You know, this show is a prime example of how to, you know, listening to something to support you, and you know, get onto YouTube or do searches. So, and it doesn't have to cost anything. I mean, if you choose to invest in stuff, that's beautiful, but don't let price be a restriction. You just need access to the internet to be able to get access to great stuff and reading. So finding tools that you can incorporate into your daily life to lift you, to inspire you, to start bringing some joy back into your life, to energize you, and to make you feel better, because that's what it's all about. Yeah.
So in 30 seconds, what if somebody wants to learn more from you? How can they contact you?
Okay. Yeah, by all means. Look, I have a Facebook page, as well as a website. I can just post it into the chat here. My business is called Your Universal Self, because I see that as sort of the collective of you, if you like, bringing in all the gifts of your soul. And what I'm saying to people is, if they've liked what they've heard today, but they're not really sure how they would work with me, or the website sort of gives a different language to what they're used to, I'm absolutely happy for you to drop me an email. I'm just going to put my email link in here now. And if you want to drop me an email and be in touch with me personally.
We have an audio. This is audio as well, sure, on a different platform, so you might want to say it.
Yeah, of course. Well. So my email address is Jo, so it's just J-O, no E on the end. So J-O at youruniversalself.com. So you can look at my website, youruniversalself.com, or Facebook, Your Universal Self. Jo at. Drop me a line. Happy to give a 15-minute free chat to anyone that was inspired by the activation, would like to experience more of that, because I do one-on-one sessions with people, and just to make sure this is a fit for them. Happy to offer that to the listeners today.
Thank you so much. Adrienne, she's at thecaregiverspace.org, and I'm at caregiver.com. And we're going to say goodbye to the audio portion, and don't go away, because I'm going to come back. Just want to sign off on this one platform. But thanks for tuning in, and we're here every Tuesday at noon Pacific Standard Time. God bless you, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. I was a little too abrupt, and this is for the blab people. So go on. Was there something I wanted to ask you as well? Let me look at my notes here. What practical tips could you offer for the caregivers taking care of themselves physically? I think you might have already gone into that.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Is getting rid of the baggage something to help people with? I mean, people always have baggage with them, right? I mean, they could be caring for their mother, and there's so much stuff going on between a daughter and a mother, or between a spouse. And talk about baggage for a moment.
Oh gosh, where do you start with baggage? I believe that only a very small portion of us is our minds and our thoughts. Very, very small. I'm from the space of we're all energy, and we carry a lot of energy through a lot of lifetimes, if you put it like that. So I help people break down the energetic patterning they're carrying, and it's beyond the mind. To help them connect into more of their gifts of their soul that I talked about earlier. So it's when I'm working with people, it's helping them understand themselves more fully at all levels of their being, and you know, it may be in a different language, but I meet you where you're at. You know, there's no right or wrong in this, but it's for you to understand the truth of who you are, understand more, so you can clear away some of that patterning and that baggage, and just release it and start letting go of that, and really feeling and fulfilling on your soul gifts, like we connected into a little bit today. And when I'm in session with people, I do that on a lot bigger, longer scale, so that people.
Baggage is another term for bondage. You know, people just feel like they're a slave to their habits, a slave to their addictions, a slave to whatever is inside of them that makes them do things that they don't want to do. I mean, it's almost like the Apostle Paul. He says, I do things I don't want to do, and I don't do things I do want to do. You know, what a tormented man I am, you know?
Yeah. So I love helping people understand, you know, I've been doing coaching on and off for 12 years, where I do help people understand some of their belief systems and help break that down. However, as I say, we're so much bigger than our minds and our conscious and subconscious thoughts that I work at a more energetic level to stop those patternings coming in. And in full session, I explain the whys and wherefores, how that works and what it is. But it's not about being in the mind and figuring it out. It's about releasing those like magnets within your field to keep attracting the same kind of stuff in and the same experiences in. And I'm like, well, those magnets don't serve you. That they're just keeping you separate from the love and light that you are. So it's about letting go of those magnets and those habits and the need to, you know, we want to be wanted and need to be needed. It's the codependency traits that we're programmed with, and especially within caregiving. So it's about letting go of some of that, understanding that more, and clearing that stuff, so you can just let go of keep creating it. So you're just left in that sustainable higher vibration. And so the stuff that comes at you at life no longer triggers you and gets to you like it used to. So that's what I'm about.
Adrienne, we didn't give you much of a chance to speak. You have anything you want to say or add to or ask? Or
Well, I was just thinking there that baggage can sometimes be a comfort zone that you create for yourself. It's familiar. You understand that it may not truly be comfortable. It usually isn't, but it's familiar. And when the rest of the world seems to be spinning out of control, sometimes that comfort and that familiarity is all it takes to make you feel okay. And it just perpetuates the nonsense. You have to learn
like the devil we know versus the devil we don't know.
Yeah,
very much.
And what I love for people is helping them replace some of those habits that no longer serve them and comforts with this love and connection, because that's really what our heart and soul is craving, is the love and connection from within. That's what it's all actually about, is you know, feeling the love from God, or whatever the language is around that, and that's where you get all the comfort that you'll ever need at your heart and soul level. So helping people experience that and have the tools to access that at all times is what I love helping people with. Yeah.
Great. Have you ever been a caregiver in your life, in your short life there?
Well, I have two small children, so that's one aspect of caregiving.
Makes you a caregiver.
Yeah. You know, I've watched my mother die and been through her when I was 18, helping her trans move on. My mother-in-law died last week, so I helped energetically help her transition across. Because I work with energy, I do distance work as well. I don't need to be in front of the person to be able to help them. So on those aspects, yes, I don't have grandparents or parents. I'm never going to be in a scenario I have to care for elderly relatives. My first job was in an old people's home when I was 16. There you go. So I have done a little bit of it in that regard. My heart goes out and my hat goes off to everybody in that scenario. And if I can help in any way to make your life easier in doing that, then that's what I'm here for.
Have you ever personally experienced burnout?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So you're speaking from experience here.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's especially, I mean, not that long ago, being a completely sleep deprived mother, trying to run my business. You know, I've had several businesses. I had 4 properties to manage. I wasn't sleeping. I'd moved countries. I'd moved states. Didn't have any support. I have no family support. I don't get any government support. All of that stuff, and just go on. And that's not the only time. And for me, since I found this work, and I've been on my journey for 12 years, but until I found this work, and I really understood what I call the missing piece of the puzzle of where that pond of water really is, where that petrol station really is, and know how to fuel myself. That's what's transformed my life, and that's what I know that I'm here to help others with. So, to avoid that burnout, absolutely. I don't want to have people go through what I went through at many levels.
You bring up a very important topic. So many caregivers are sleep deprived for whatever reason. They have insomnia. They can't turn their brain off.
Yes.
These techniques you mentioned, I assume, will help them sleep.
Oh, look, absolutely. And that was the thing for me. When my children did wake up, it would take me an hour and a half to go back to sleep. It wasn't, I'll get up and deal with them and I go back to sleep. I'd be awake. And neither of my children slept through the night till they were 3. So I went for 5-6 years without much sleep, as well as operating, and an unsupportive husband who I've now left. So done that side of things. And so
you've gotten rid of some baggage too.
Yeah, I have the baggage. I have a fair amount of baggage, but just clearing all that, and now, really, I mean, the more work that I do on myself, because it isn't something I just talk about and go back to my life. I live and breathe this connection in the space and connecting in, and just having that peace and serenity in my heart means I've got the peace and serenity in my mind, which means I can shut it off. I don't have to listen to the diatribe in the middle of the night and be overwired and running on adrenaline and where's the coffee? And I don't need to do any of that anymore, because it just so doesn't support me in any way.
Now, how do you define sleep deprived? Because I meet people who insist they only need 2 hours sleep a day, and I don't get that, I
don't get that. Like, I would love to say that I had 8 hours of sleep. If I have 7 hours of sleep, that's good. For me, sleep deprivation was, sometimes my little Harry, it would be up every 3/4 of an hour throughout the night, or then it might go to an hour and a half. So if I had a 3-hour stint of sleep twice in the night, that was a really, really good night. So to me, sleep deprivation is if I'm getting up once or twice and then not sleeping for the hour and a half after. To me, that's sleep deprivation.
Can some people survive on 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours? I mean, the number changes, but I can never.
I don't either. And I think it's the same as metabolism. It's the same as what our own physical bodies need, just as we are these beautiful individuations of spark of gods, and it's how it shows up in our body. And some need more sleep. And speaking to somebody the other day, she says, "Oh no, I generally get about 11 hours every night." I'm like, oh. What is that? So I think we're all different, but it's, for me, I power nap in the day. I take 20 or 40 minutes. I do my meditation and I often nod off, and that fuels me because I know that's what I need. And I learned to do that as a mother. When the babies were sleeping, I just didn't matter what the house was like, I had to sleep. And I chose not to get out of that habit because it serves me. Yeah. So again, if you're caregiving and you are able just to sit down and give yourself that 15 minutes. The housework will still be there afterwards, or whatever it is. It's just giving yourself that gift of that time to refuel yourself. It's the most valuable thing you could do, give yourself in that day. Absolutely. Yeah, totally get that one.
Adrienne, any last questions that you'd like to ask or that I missed?
I know what I found when it came to my power nap time, that I couldn't stop my mind from just running and running. So I would put on a guided meditation or put on some music that would draw me in and get my mind off that stuff that just
absolutely
ramming around the drain. Yeah.
Our serenity comes when we can do no mind. And that's not going into the depths of Zen meditation. It's beyond most people's ability or time or whatever to do that. However, we can just do some simple things by guided meditation, just listening to something that's going to make you feel better. It can be that simple. Even if it's music and it makes you feel better and relaxes your mind, it served its purpose. It's finding what works for you and the tools. Like I have one meditation, the minute I put on, I hear the ding, 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 I'm out. And there'll be other times that I'll listen to it when I want to listen to it. But just that one set of meditation, my body is programmed. And absolutely, I wake up 38 minutes later when the music's finishing at the end of 2 sequences every day. It's just what works. Knocks me out. I love it. Yeah, it's been lovely chatting with you both today.
It has. Thank you so much for taking the time and the overtime.
Yes, but now no, thank you, and I look forward to hearing feedback on this. If you get that, Dave and Adrienne, on within your groups or what have you, and however you share it. So yeah, if I've made a difference for anybody and just helped them shift in how they feel today, then I've done my bit. So. And let me know if ever I can help you in this direction again. It would be a pleasure.
Yes. Now, do you need the link, or you have the ability to get the link because I made you a co-host for the show that you can? You have the ability to put this on YouTube because I do.
Yes.
I noticed most Android users have trouble opening up Lab on their mobile device, so I always share it with YouTube.
Yeah, you know what? I do have a YouTube channel. I'm not really doing it. What I do is put my links onto my webpage, and I create a webpage, and then I send my people to that. But yeah, I think I probably would put this one on the Blab. I've got a backload of Blabs. I need to get into routine of actually uploading them to YouTube and doing that. So,
do you want me to send you the YouTube, or you already have access to it?
No, I have. Well, I can put it on my channel anyway, on my YouTube channel, and if you have it on yours, then it's.
But you will have access to the file then, I guess, right?
Yes, because now you've made me
without
co-host,
me sending it to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So.
All right.
Saves you a job.
And thanks for telling me that. I didn't know that we could do that.
And then also it's useful as well if supposing your internet connection went down or something, I can still monitor the locked seats and the chat and everything. So it's just a little bit of backup to help the host as well for technical.
So Blab will send you the email.
Yes,
also.
I would imagine.
They'll do everything with you that they do
absolutely.
today.
As soon as you finish recording, it will do its business, and we'll get the link. If I don't, I will let you know. But I that's my experience of it. So.
All right. Well, I'm sure Adrienne will share it on her page. Her Facebook page has about 150,000 followers. Almost. She's almost there at 150,000. It grows by the minute.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you again, Jo, for coming on, and we appreciate you taking the time.
And make the connection
on.
Well, you're only a caregiver, you're not perfect.
I'm not. You came on for the activation, and that was the. You can listen to the first half later, but the activation.
Yes, you came in at the right time.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you.
God bless you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.